Dr. Emanuel, we're so excited to have you all the way from Jamaica. Thank you for bringing the Caribbean into our living rooms. We're so excited to have you.
I was blown away with Dr. Pi.
Yes.
What a
incredible.
Ted, so good to see you. Thank you again for being with us.
Hi there.
You're part of it's like we've got a year later and we've got the team together to really rock, starting with 2021 here. Woohoo!
Oh, I am so grateful. Let me say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year
to everyone. And we're going to make this a most exciting and prosperous, despite whatever is happening out there. We're going to do better this year. I think it was Dr. Joe Vitelli. I really like him too. He's a powerhouse. Yes. But I was blown away with Dr. Pi because he took my wind a little bit, but I've learned so much because I'll be speaking about storage and getting rid of waste. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you just fine.
So, waste is something you want to remove. So how does one know how much waste to remove? Right? So we're going to talk about accumulation and what you might want to accumulate, but how much of it? And that will rely on your metabolic condition. So there are a couple of things that I'm going to focus on, and that is selection. Selection is important, but that comes by way of understanding where you are conditionally and what are you capable of carrying around after you start storing. Some people see more as better, but more don't have to be better. Sometimes less is better than more. And sometimes you might need or might not need. So it sounds like double talk, but it's important here. Selection, preparation is another key word there of what you select as food, energy. Are you hearing me? The screen just went like it went soft.
Yes, yes, I'm here. I was just given a palate cleanser, talk about what we ingest and what we retain. So
there you go. There you go.
I'm going to take a break for 1 second, Doctor. We're still with you.
Take a break. So consumption, we have to eat because food is the main sustenance of life. And without food, we don't do well. The organism doesn't function well. So food is life, food is energy, food is intelligence. So what are we selecting? What are we eating? What are we preparing? It's not everything that you have to cook. Some people cannot eat and will not eat unless the food is cooked. So then they either undercook or overcook based on their condition. But condition is always changing from moment to moment. So if we're not in tune with ourselves, our mind and our body, our environment and so forth, and I think Dr. Pi mentioned geographically where you're getting your food from and so on. So it is very, very important. What condition is the digestive system is in? What condition your discharge your eliminatory system is in. These are very important things when you are recommending food or when you're cooking. Just like our great chef a while ago, I watched how they were enjoying the food, and now you are consuming it. So it is important that we understand the condition of our digestive system as a whole. Do you have enough teeth in your mouth? Are you taking time to properly masticate the things that are coming in? Because when you bring in corruption into the organism, it can either strain the body as a whole and create a lot of disorders within the entire system. So the digestive system here is key. Dr. Pai mentioned the gut. The last time I spoke, I mentioned gut disease, the condition of the small and large intestines, the condition of the bowel, for instance, which is very important. So you have the small intestines after the mouth, what came before, you have the stomach. The condition of the stomach, upper chamber, lower chamber, they have two different functions. So if you don't know the condition of the upper chamber or the lower chamber, you just eat anything because you have a stomach. And then when you get a stomach ache, you don't know how to rectify or what's causing this problem. But what interferes or disrupts the balance within the upper and the lower chamber, one is for protein, one deals with carbohydrates, then the small intestines won't work well. And if the small intestines are not working well, which is where blood is first start to manufacture, then it is going to disrupt the functionality of the colon. This is a big problem because remember, the colon is the partner to the small intestines. Large and small, they work together. So if the the ascending colon is not in good enough condition because there's not enough oxygen in the system, you're going to have problems with the transverse colon. If the transverse colon is not moving that material, you're going to have prolapses. That is a big problem. The descending colon is very important also. And if that is not up to level, you're going to have bowel problems. No. If these villi are not clean and you're having corruption on the wall, if they're not clean and they're all plaqued up, then the juices from your fine, be it steak juices or your vegan juices, you're going to have serious digestive problems.
And now, you know what comes with that?
What? That's right. So it is really important that you know that what you take in, you don't want anything to plaque up the villi, okay? Because it's going to hinder absorption of these wonderful nutrients that you are taking in and you prepared from the mouth on down. Once they get there, they're going to go right out to the toilet or they remain in that GI tract and you're going to have gut problems.
Oh, I think we lost some video here. Dr. Ted, did we lose you? Tasha, are we still live there from your end?
Yeah, I think we lost him.
I think we lost Dr. Ted. Okay, let's see what happens. Hopefully he'll be able to get back on here. This is one of those unique topics. Let me reach out to. I think he lost his whole connection. I think. Yeah. He'll be logging. I'm sure he'll log back in here in just a second.
There he is. He has a video now.
There he is.
He just needs to be unmuted.
Okay, there we go. I got him.
So I think the moral of the story is you are what you eat. And when we're talking about empowerment, there are foods that can affect your energy level.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why you always want to do that.
So, Dr. Emanuel, you back with us?
Yes, I'm back.
There we are.
Can we talk about some foods that empower the digestive system?
Okay. Vegetables are great, but things that stimulate, can only two types. One stimulate, one sedate. But in varying degrees of stimulation or sedation. So you want to know whether too much garlic or too much ginger, based on your eliminatory system, can be injurious to your health or to the GI tract. Cayenne pepper can help to move things on, and such and such and such. There's no one food that we use or I use for everyone. Okay? This is based on your metabolic condition and the disorder at the present moment that you might be experiencing. So if a person is diabetic and they were to bring the wife or the husband to me, I could not give them the same program. They may have some resemblance, but they're not the same. Okay? I use grains, but different types of grains. Energetically, some grains are more sluggish than others, right? And if I'm using a grain like, say, millet is a sluggish grain. I would combine it with something else that will assist it. And then in preparation, I will do things that will synergistically work together for the benefit of the disorder itself, to bring harmony within the organism by way of the blood, red and white blood cells. So this is how I work. I have to see the condition of the blood, not just what the person, the patient, or the client tells me. I have to see. So how do I see these disorders and I'm not using a machine? Well, through sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste, I'm able to facilitate marks, moles, warts, freckles, the thickness of the skin, the thinness of the skin, whether it's doughy, oily, from what degree? Because oiliness comes in varying degrees. The skin can be dry, for instance. It comes in various degrees of dryness. The skin can be dry, lacking oil. Surface-wise, there could be oil under the surface, stored in the sebaceous gland, but metabolically, the person is not active enough to bring that sebum to the surface. Or the moisture, the sweat glands might be paralyzed. I have to do things to stimulate them. I have to be able to recognize, though, that enough moisture is not coming to the surface to intermingle with the sebum, the oil, to form your natural acid mantle, to give the skin suppleness. Now, wherever these marks or moles, freckles, or wherever they are located, I am able to recognize these organs that are related, because it's one body, but many parts, many organs, but these organs, they work together. Even though each organ has a related partner, the entire organism still work together, controlled by the hypothalamus and the thalamus. Dr. Pai mentioned the endocrine system when it comes to control the control system, to assist the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, all the other glands in the body. They must come together. So my job in selecting food is based on the present condition, past condition, and what I am trying to accomplish or achieve going forward. So the person has to be ready, willing, and able to listen and change their outlook when it comes to dietary or food intake, because preparation is key, The chef there will tell you. So it's not every person, not every stomach that can take cooked food. But some people will not eat food unless it's cooked. Some people won't eat it unless it's thoroughly and properly overcooked. Some people will not eat food unless it's raw. It's not everybody can eat raw food all the time. So you have people who switch to a raw food, vegan diet. Not that I'm knocking any diet, but it might not be conducive. I would never give a diabetic raw food up front just like that. I would have to assess at that time and going forward where I want to take them, what condition the digestive system is in, because if the stomach is not doing well, upper and lower chamber, it is going to corrupt the spleen because of the corrupt juices that's coming in. The spleen and the pancreas must be in balance in order for them to manufacture islets of Langerhans cells, for instance. Exercise is key here in order to get the engine going. So if a person is thinking about, well, they told me I have cancer. Well, who doesn't? Who doesn't really? But you don't want to feed those cells by overburdening them with things that they like fatty acids, one way or another, be it by way of carbohydrates and protein, and overburden the liver. Because carbohydrates, they have a way of storing in the liver, and the excess burden can create a problem with the gallbladder. The gallbladder is very important because the gallbladder also manufactures insulin. It manufactures saliva just like the pancreas and the spleen. One for carbohydrates, one for protein. So if we're not aware by way of the skin, which is the mirror of the soul, of the body, the entire organism, we rely on the skin, the condition of the skin. It's the largest and most valuable organ on the body, for the body. So the condition of your blanket must be able to be in good enough condition to adapt and adjust to conditions atmospherically speaking. So where are you living? That's why I love the presentation Dr. Pai delivered. It was phenomenal. The man is an encyclopedia, you just said it. So it's important here that we know our condition or find someone who understands, very important here, your condition before you start to recommend. COVID is here in Jamaica, but what are we doing? They're doing everything they can. The Minister of Health here in Jamaica is doing, I mean, just like any Minister of Health anywhere, okay? But we have so many serious inferior condition disorders that we have to educate our people. That's why I'm building the school free of cost. I will be giving out 100 scholarships each year, 5 scholarships to 20 schools around the island, so that they can learn. Dr. Chevalier, hi Dr. Chevalier, the children must be the future and will always be the future, because here we have some of the highest cancer anywhere per capita. When it comes to prostate cancer, we're the highest anywhere. Diabetes, we can match anywhere. Heart disease, we can match anywhere. So it's not about just getting something. We have more herbs here practically than anybody. This is Jamaica. We have some of the best soils in the world, but understanding of the soil, so you don't have to go and import things to boost the quality and condition of the soil. We have it already, but we have to understand what we're putting into the soil. You have 2 types of herbs, one with more water and one with less. So if a person's condition is already wet, why are you over drinking, or why are you using everything cooked? Because the water goes into the food, and if your eliminatory system, back to what I was saying first, is not in adequate condition, we're going to continue to suffer. And you're thinking, well, hey, the things are not working. The herbs already speak for themselves from generation to generation, hundreds of years. But understanding is key. Any disorder can be corrected with understanding and respect for what you are using. Everyone since COVID, they're calling me to say, what kind of remedy you have? I don't have a remedy for anything. The body already is in position to do that if who you seek understands it. Okay? Just take, for instance, cancer. There are only 2 types of cancer. One moves and roams around the body, and one spreads like if you drop a pebble in a pond. One is female in nature, and one is more aggressive, just like man and woman. But even though we have our differences, we are still one man, one woman, and we must unite. So my job is to recognize the relationship between red and white blood cells. This is telegraphed on the skin. It's plain to see. Your behavior, your movement, what you say, how you say. You're listening to me. You can see and feel my passion, my energy. It's the food I eat. I make sure that my food is relatively balanced, and I don't do anything that is going to tire me out. You know what I mean? So we must understand. So how do Or does one bring balance into someone who says they have lymphoma? By just going to the doctor and tell the doctor, and he said, oh, you have lymphoma, take this drug or take this pill. It doesn't work that way. Short term maybe, but it's not long term. Correcting disorders is what I do. I bring the red and white blood cells together, just like a counselor. The man and his woman, they go to the counselor and they say, well, listen, he's too hard, or she's not aggressive enough, or she's too aggressive. It's the same way with the blood. I have to select the things, so selection is key here. But you cannot select things unless you fully understand the condition of the car. From the radiator, you have to clean it up. But first you have to understand what condition the radiator is in. Is it a water, putting the wrong type of water in the radiator? You know, in a radiator, they have a special water that you must put in there. But if she doesn't understand, or he doesn't understand the car, he might just put oil in the radiator. Nobody does that. Or put water in the engine where oil should be. But remember, oil comes in weight, just like when they tell you to use 10W30 or 10W20, whatever they tell you to use by specs of the manufacturer of the car. We have to understand the human organism and give it the respect to know that God created man and the body heals and cures itself. When people are asking me for remedies and all these fantastic things, I don't have one. I don't have a cure, because the cure is within us. Up to this morning, I posted that on Facebook. We have the cure because we are uniquely and favorably made by Almighty God. No man can create man, but we can maintain to sustain. So when it comes to cancer cells going wild within the organism, we have to be careful what we put in our mouth. Rest is important. Rest is important, just like exercise is important. Some people sleep more than they should or they ought to. Well, that's conditional. Some people exercise and strain themselves. If you look, you see now we're in that heavy protein phase of life, where even our women now are lifting weights or doing physical exercise where they are overburdening the musculature systems. When the muscles are overstrained, it creates another problem. When the neurological system, the nervous system, when it's overstrained, it creates another host of problems. So if you don't know what you're looking at, what you're hearing, what you know, then you're just going to play, you're in Vegas, you're playing bluff poker. It's a joke. You cannot do a hop and a skip or come back and see me in 3 weeks. No, it has to be a systematic program where we detoxify, blood-wise, purify, and harmonize both red and white blood cells. Once you do that for that individual, you're on the right track. Once you're able to do that, and then you can go with the rest of making blood. Blood making is crucial, and if you don't understand the quality of blood that patient has at that particular time, then you can further corrupt what is already bad or not too bad. Did you just put your hand up for 5 minutes or seconds?
I wanted to let you know, just a quick signal, that we do have some questions for
Okay,
you.
we'll bring the questions on. Let me just conclude by saying here, we put too much emphasis on the cure. And if we don't get it when we anticipate getting it, then we're going to be freaking out, and that is going to compound the neurological system, and things are going to continue to go off track. So balance here is key. Okay? Woman and man, a woman has a better chance of having a better life if she understands that her discharge system is different to that of a man. He cannot get pregnant and have that baby. That's a form of discharge of material. Some women, when they are pregnant, they eat or drink excessively. They say they're drinking and eating for the baby. No, the body knows and will get to that cutoff point and regulate your system if it's in good enough condition. That's the job of the pediatrician. But then they must learn the energetic properties of the food that that patient is eating, just like they learn the contra of the drugs that they recommend to the patients. And we are encouraging our MDs to really get more and more involved here for the betterment of the patient as a whole that we serve. Amen.
I have a question.
Ask the questions.
So I heard a little bird came and visited me and told me that you and Dr. Chevalier are working together. So he's working on all of the research with the blood, and then you're working on your research. Can you speak about that a little bit? Because now I'm really excited.
Yeah. I'm excited with this man because he's a pure in heart.
Good to see you, my brother.
Hey, the same here, man. Missing you too. You know,
Miss you.
Dr. Chevalier is a pure in heart, and this earth needs you, brother.
No, we need you too, brother.
And the time is here and now. And I was speaking to my assistant this morning when you came on. I wanted to jump in and say hi, but then I said I'll say hi when I get on. I can't wait, brother. I'm excited. You can't believe. I want to help our soldiers. Okay, I want to help you, help them. I want to help our people. So as soon as as we get further down the road, I want to, us to get you down here also. Get involved with the school down here with me. Thank you. I love you,
I
man.
would love to. I would love to. I'm so looking forward to it. But we're getting there. We're getting close.
Good.
Dr. Emanuel, Dr. Antoine Chevalier are collaborating. Now, the interesting thing is Dr. Emanuel works with the blood. And the other interesting thing is Dr. Chevalier has now got a body of research that's active and going as it pertains to this pandemic that we're all in. So having the two of them collaborate on a global scale to bring in more people into the studies is truly going to assist us all with having a greater understanding of this new microbe that's out there. And how it affects all of us, and how it can leave us feeling unempowered. Yet, with the data and knowing the pathway to immunity, and also I'm throwing Dr. Golda in there with the software as a service research platform to aggregate all this data. Now everybody can kind of see the methodology behind the presenting presenters today and the collaboration around the world. And there are some very good, empowering things that have come out of everybody taking a planetary pause. It's allowed us to strategically connect specific resources to be able to aggregate data that's going to help us all move forward in life and keep us empowered, keep us healthy. So, Charles, do you have a question?
Yes, I really appreciate all the work you're doing, Dr. Emanuel, and I wanted to know if you did teleconsultations. I know people can't get down to Jamaica, but want to take advantage of your knowledge. Can they get with you on a Zoom call?
Yes, I am so thankful for that question there, because this very month we were to start our Zoom teleconference the 14th of this month, but we decided to push it back a little bit towards the end of the month. We are starting 2 shows. One is called Better Nutrition for You and Your Child. It is very important that our mothers better understand the importance of that support, of the support, I should say, food has when it comes to or relating to the development of the child, okay, during the embryonic development and after, okay. So that show is to educate not just the mother though, but children. And it's going to be really, really a fun thing, that show, that particular show. The other program that we'll be doing is called Talking Health with Ted Emanuel and Friends. And you'll be able to get on, it will be announced, it will be properly promoted. And any assistance I can get as far as engineering and so forth, Denise, you know, please, I'm relying on you so that it can be a smooth thing. I'm not a computer person. You see how I struggle with getting on and
but you do it. You do it. You've confronted that and moved past it. It's great. Just like we were talking with Dr. Vitale. So, okay, we thank you so much, Dr. Emanuel, as always. You are amazing.